Welcome back to Rob Liefeld Appreciation Month on Crypto Comics. All you beautiful people in Webtown, we are going to conclude the Extreme Sacrifice crossover today from Image Comics and Extreme Studios. If you have not watched the first video of our Extreme Sacrifice review, you're going to want to do that before you watch this, because we're going to get into it right now. There is one little error in these comic books right here. Notice that they both say this is part 7. This obviously can't be true. Team Youngblood, number 17, is part 6. Prophet, number 10, is part 7. So, we're just going to get into it real quick. We're going to kind of go through these quickly and only hit the relevant information, right? That's how we do this. Deep within Youngblood headquarters, Graves and Combat are going to work together. Graves, you know, is secretly Lucifer, if you recall from yesterday. And he's got all of the homies ready to go. Youngblood, the New Men, Bloodstrike, Seahawk, the Last of Brigade, Link, and the Order of the Night. They are now the Dragon's Angels. So Graves is trying to convince Combat that he wants to save the universe itself. And obviously Combat is having trouble believing that Graves would want to save anyone. Graves says the Book of Revelations. It is not. It's the Book of Revelation, not Revelations. You'd think that Lucifer would know that of all people. But apparently Robert Napton didn't know. Gotcha. The Book of Revelation makes reference to my time here. And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child. But now I battle for that child's survival, for he will be Chapel's undoing. And know this, Catellan, in the future, Chapel summons the power to destroy my realm, and then takes to the stars. Nothing but the child stands in his way, and your world is among those he first plunders. Meanwhile, on the upper levels of Youngblood headquarters, everybody's gathering together, getting ready. You know, they're obviously, debating on the best course of action here. And Shaft, being the consummate professional team leader that he is, says, "Don't worry, Keever. Whatever the situation, we can handle it. How bad can it..." Huh? Dad? Jeff! What? So it turns out, if you've been paying attention here during Rob Liefeld Appreciation Month on Crypto Comics, that Lieutenant Colonel Bravo is Shaft's dad. How about that? Spoiler alert. Dad, I can't believe you're here. If you only knew what I've been through to get here. But it was worth it. Even if we fail, at least I got to see you again. The situation's indescribable, Jeff. When Chapel killed himself, he assumed the mantle of hell. See, the situation's indescribable, but now he's going to describe the situation. Isn't that fun? When Chapel killed himself, he assumed the mantle of hell. Now he leads a demonic army of unbelievable power. Crypt is his chief servant. Chapel? In charge of hell? Sorry, Dad, but that's kind of hard to believe. Believe it, mate. Me and your papa, members of the Order of the Night, were sworn to stop Chapel and protect a certain child. I knew this day would come. From the minute Graves called me and I joined up. I knew you was still with us, Mick. Looks like the gang's all here, except the wolf. He's still licking his wounds from the beating I handed him. That was in Youngblood number 10. Uh-oh. Crash. Ah! It can't be. But Warwolf's our fiercest combatant. Tell him. If he's the best among you, this is going to be a bore. Oh, that Crypt. I love the way that he's drawn. He's awesome. Then again, once I'm finished here, I can move on to some private matters. Getting in was one thing, chump. Getting out's a whole nother matter. Werewolf, are you all right? No, thanks to you, White Top. I appreciate you volunteering me to stay at the airport and give you cover. It's time for Old Home Week, Crypt. Link, I thought I dispensed with you at Waterloo, right after I pissed down Napoleon's throat. Eternity belongs to me as well, demon.
Not after this day. Soon I'll possess power second only to the master of creation.
Kaboom! Mother, father, I told you we would meet again. I have returned with the knowledge of my fate, my destiny. I left as simply your son. I return as the newborn. Father, please know this. You are merely a host for the gem. It commanded my existence, forced you upon Mother. You have fulfilled your role. I must relieve you of the burden. And now, as the Father is the Son is now the Father. Crypt, you have committed acts of heinous destruction. I will ensure that you and Chapel never hurt anyone again.
Indeed, boy. But first there's something you should know about that gem. I'm immune to its power. I wonder what else they forgot to tell you about it. Do you know, for instance, what will happen to you when someone like me borrows it?
There goes the newborn.
No, I guess not.
Like a starving black hole, the gem seeks nourishment from the strongest source of light. The newborn can only scream as his body and soul transmute into a sick nothingness, as he is literally devoured from the inside out by the very source of his strength.
After all this, and he dies within seconds? Time that could have been better spent, don't you think?
You can't kill us all, Crypt.
Oh, can't I? Watch.
I think he's gonna do it. I think he's gonna do it.
Such arrogance. Supreme couldn't stop me, but you think you can? Why don't you just relax and begin your journey into the pit?
Wow, look out! It can't end like this, Jeff. It won't, Dad, I swear.
Touching to be certain, Shaft, but you must understand, it's already over. Your bodies must simply catch up with your souls.
Killer of Supreme, accurance belief we, souls not have. For Bush.
I'm sorry to hear that, Photon. Disbelievers aren't allowed. And now it's time to slay the good mother. We can't risk the reincarnation of the man-child. I sacrificed the bearer in the name of my god, Lord Chapel.
Everybody run for cover. Final play of the game. Let's see how much you can stomach. A fusion reactor? Crack-a-boom! This portal ought to send most of the explosion away from here. Too much force. Not sure I can maintain the portal. Within Graves' sanctum,
computer reduce magnification. Again. It is finished. Armageddon is his next step. Fire will rain upon the earth for 7 days, after which Chapel will consume the universe in his quest for power, and then creation itself. There is no one left to stop him.
Take solace in what little victory we had. At least Crypt was destroyed.
Naive boy. Fusion reactors, nuclear arsenals. One might as well burn animal fat for power. Now, finally, I can indulge myself in resolving the final problem. Extinguishing the flame which burns inside Jonathan Taylor, Prophet. Crypt lives. I am denied even the most minute victory. Graves, behold, it's him!
The Prophet! Ooh, we're going to keep going, right? That's what we promised. That's what we're delivering right here on Crypto Comics with part 7 of 8, Prophet number 10. This is Extreme Sacrifice. Let's see how Prophet and Crypt fare against one another. This time yesterday, the Youngblood headquarters stood as a monument to justice and strength, a shining reminder that gods still walk amongst men. But then he came, Crypt, a heretic who willfully and rapturously toppled this modern-day Mount Olympus, and in reprising a technique he taught to Vlad the Impaler, this soulless butcher has given warning to any who might think to challenge him, a warning all will heed, except for two. If the military had been here instead of chasing us across the country, maybe some of these men would still be alive. I don't know, John. If they had been twice the guys, we'd probably be wading through twice the stiffs. See if you can move this pillar. There's something on the other side.
There. Can you see what? No.
Sweet Jesus!
Bird, Nightsaber, Task, Badrock, Rain, Silence, and Shaft.
All apparently dead. Prophet and Kirby search the expanse, but find only an icy stillness. For many, it's the stillness that befalls a lifeless body after it's exiled warmth and embraced the eternal cold. And though some will live, none will ever be the same. John, look at this. I don't believe it.
What's wrong? It's just a shuriken. Belonging to Crypt, no doubt.
Listen, John. I know we got no time for riddles, but this was mine. I fashioned a set of them by hand a long time ago. Thing is, this ain't no copy. This is the genuine article. Now how would Crypt come by one of my old shurikens? One I haven't seen in a lifetime.
I'm not certain. But we owe it to his victims, to ourselves. We must find the answer. I must know.
Ooh, nice. Wow. Oh, he's looking right through his chest cavity. Wicked.
It doesn't make any sense. How did Crypt find us in Nevada? And Judas set the trap at the church in Idaho well before we arrived. He must have guided her. And now Kirby's shuriken. It's as if Crypt knows our very thoughts.
Huh? Kirby, there's something above. Damn, strung him up like a friggin' piñata. Why go to all the trouble?
It gives me time to think.
Uh-oh.
That voice! It's him! Sorry about your Youngblood friends, but it's your punishment for being late.
The chaotic hush, the abhorrent vision, the stench of dead flesh, they combine into a sensorial discord that staggers John Prophet. And as he stares transfixed into the blackened pit of Crypt's imagination, even his fury is suffocated by an inexplicable numbing. His thirst to know is corrupted by the certainty that he will be unable to endure the very knowledge he seeks. Slowly, Prophet is driven into a phantasm of Crypt's design and receives a lesson in the facts of life. He plays witness to Crypt's past atrocities. It's a life of barbarism, of joyous destruction. At first, Prophet is awed by the bloody mosaic, entranced by its beauty. But then comes sorrow, guilt, disgust, all induced by a moment of singular clarity. He can no longer deny the visions that have so haunted his dreams. The lesson is over. It's time for commencement.
Your telepathy was successful, Crypt. I know who you are.
Whoa, kid, wait a second.
Leave, Kirby. This is my fate, not yours.
No, just shut up and listen to me. John, damn, this is gonna be hard. It's just that, look, we both had our suspicions about this Crypt, right? But the fact is, I feel like I held out on you. There's some things we never talked about. Things that go back to when Doc Wells created you. I always thought we'd have time, just a little time. I know I'm not making a lot of sense. Listen, what I'm trying to say is when I left the Berserkers to join you, it wasn't because I just wanted a good fight. It was more than that. You're my family, John, like a son to me, and I just wanted you to know that we're in this together. No matter what happens, we'll always be in this together. So let's take this guy like we taken them all.
Thank you, old friend, for everything.
Bam, 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 bam. Time's up, punk.
Sentimental, Kirby. If you only knew how often I've dreamed of this. How could it end with so little fanfare? Fabooshk! Ah! I could get a dustpan, if you'd like to keep his ashes.
Kirby? Charred earth. Burnt remains. Prophet chokes at the smell, but it's all that's left of Jackson Kirby. And Prophet will spend the rest of his life wishing for those moments that are now lost to him, wishing for time. Just a little time. God damn you! You think you know pain, butcher? And he pulls out his lightsaber. How about that? As you writhe in agony, you'll beg me to stop, but I'll only burn you more.
Wait! You impress me, choir boy. Your vision has merit. It deserves further examination. If it's burning you desire, I believe I know a fitting place. Hell welcomes you, John Prophet.
Oh. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit, as the smoke of a great furnace. Revelation 9:2. Prophet revels in the irony. Hell, the devil's own factory, furnishing an infinite supply of torment and condemnation. He spent a lifetime avoiding the lurid temptations that usher your soul into this abyss. Envy, greed, lust, blasphemy, each challenged Prophet's claim to the divine, but like a perfect knight, he valiantly conquered them one by one. But now, the last shred of that former self has been purged. He thrives in the cauldron of damnation, battling the physical embodiment of the things he once despised. He has nothing left to lose, not even himself. In hell, time ceases to be linear. But by man's reckoning, Prophet and Crypt clash for 7 days and 7 nights, replenished by hatred, their savagery rivals, even the pandemonium and frenzy of this vicious inferno. You were unwise to reveal your identity, Crypt. I know your every weakness, as I do yours. It's over, Prophet. This is the moment of your death, and there's no one to save you. No father, no Kirby, no God. You're alone. Oh, no, you're wrong. I'll never be alone. Smack! And death was cast into the lake of fire. Revelation 20:14. I'll never again be alone, because I'm taking back that which you've stolen from me. My true self. You won't need this facade anymore. I'm no longer afraid of you. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. John 8:32. Prophet knew what was under the mask. But even though his dream foretold of this moment and Crypt's telepathy confirmed that premonition, the depraved semblance of his own face strikes at him with a serpent's venom, hindering his every muscle, poisoning every nuance of his being. It is a face remade by years of slavish devotion to arcane knowledge and the black arts, the face of what he will become as he roams throughout time collecting charmed weapons and cursed souls. The face of Jonathan Taylor Prophet is the face of Crypt. And by accepting that vile truth, Prophet concedes to his own impurity. Crypt's lifetime of profane addiction is simply Prophet's own tortured future. The enmity and bloodlust that caused so many innocents to perish is merely the consequence of his own blackened soul. Now and forever, they are one. Wow, how about that? You've seen my face. Now can you die a happy man? And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. Revelation 21. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it. Revelation 20:13. Now I shall be the one true prophet. Take it. This demon's hand lifts up the axe. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. There goes Crypt's head. He that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son. Revelation 21, 6 and 7. And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet shall be tormented day and night, forever and ever. Revelation 20:10. We'll take care of that. It belongs to Rain. We came to and could hear your voices coming from wherever you were. Seems like Crypt wanted us to know his real identity. So what are you going to do now, kid?
What can I do? The blood of my victims, cascades all around us. In the future, I become him. Somehow, I must prevent it. Must isolate myself. This cannot happen again.
What of us, Link? Now that Crypt's dead, will the war end?
I'm afraid not, Glory. The worst is still to come.
And he gathered them together into a place called Armageddon. Revelation 16:16. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns, and he spake as a dragon. Revelation 13:11.
Fools! Crypt was nothing. Now bask in the might of your God, Lord Chapel!
Uh-oh. Meanwhile, deep within the heart of Philip Omen's new lair. You'll forgive the intrusion. I realize I've come by many times today, but I can hardly contain my excitement. I'm certain you're anxious to meet your progenitor. It was, after all, his genetic sample that facilitated your existence. However, he may find you a bit disruptive to his sense of self. Clones tend to do that. In the meantime, you'll remain in this crypt while we perform the final tests. I can't wait to unveil you, my new weapon, my very own Jonathan Taylor Prophet. To be continued in the Extreme Sacrifice Epilogue. Well, let's keep rocking and rolling, shall we, my beautiful people in Webtown? I think we shall. With the Extreme Sacrifice Epilogue. January 1995. It all comes crashing down. Youngblood headquarters, or to be somewhat more precise, what's left of it. The Father. Rain.
Father. Oh, that voice inside my head. It's me, Father, your newborn son. Yes. Come, Father. There is yet much for us to do.
They're called the Order of the Night. Troll, Link, Bravo, Glory, Warwolf, Roman. They are the fiercest warriors this world has ever known, and today they stand before their greatest challenge. His name is Chapel, and he reeks with the stench of hell. The knights and myself are all that stand in his way.
I'm Jonathan Prophet, and this is what I was born to do. Link, there has to be something else we can do. We're just barely holding him back. Have faith, John Prophet. We've come too far, achieved too much for Chapel to claim victory now. I wish I could believe that. I keep telling myself that I defeated Crypt, and that Chapel should be no different. But no matter what else Crypt was, he was human. Chapel is hatred and evil and chaos, all manifested into one massive physical being. How do we fight something that powerful? This one called Link, however, he is adamant that we will ultimately seize the day. Over and over, he tells me of how everything has gone according to plan, continually reminding me that Chapel's herald of destruction, Crypt, was felled by my own hand, and that against all odds, the gathering of the Order of the Night was successful beyond all expectations. Lastly, he offers the birth of the godlike newborn as proof of the odds laid out in our favor. But it is there that he falters. The newborn was the key to defeating Chapel. Everything I've been told during this war confirms that, but Link has no explanation for why he was met with only the swiftest of deaths when engaged in conflict with the demon Crypt. As it turns out, though, things may not be quite as they seem. That is no way to rally the troops, Link. Graves! For now, anyway, yes. Indulge my curiosity, time traveler. Who is the doubting Thomas here, you or Mr. Prophet? If your answer is the former, I am deeply shocked. We both know we have yet to see the last of the newborn. I admit things do look dark indeed from our current vantage point in time, but it is foretold that the newborn will challenge and ultimately destroy Chapel. It is up to us to carry on the fight until that happens, by whatever means necessary. Chapel! So, the wolf at last steps free of his woolen cloak, and gazes once more into the gaping maw of defeat.
Whoa. Looks like this is gonna be the big one, folks.
Silence, troll. The one called Graves is about to speak.
Oh boy.
Mock me if you must, fiend. Your words are hollow at best. You are right about one thing, though. There will most definitely be a defeat here this day, but its blood-stained badge will not be worn by me. It is refreshing to see that your time spent in exile has done little to dull your rapier wit. Or, to put it somewhat more bluntly, you must be joking. Your time as Lord of Hell is over, Dark One. I believe I saw to that in our previous meeting. Or need I remind you of how I took my own mortal life in a bid to attain the supernatural power denied me in life, only to discover that a far greater fate awaited me past death's doors? I spent 1,000 years in limbo, you might recall, all the while watching the wheels of time grind slowly by, and it was during that time I gained demonic prowess, and might the likes of which I'd never dared imagine. And it was then that it became clear to me that the Lord of Lies had been corrupted by weakness and could successfully be removed from power. A little ironic, isn't it? That you be bested by way of a plan you yourself had failed in executing before your first fall from grace. Hold your tongue, demon, lest I be forced to pull it still wriggling from your blaspheming mouth, long before I've sucked the life from your unholy frame. Excellent! I was beginning to think you had more talk in you than fight. It matters not. You are hopelessly lost.
Bravo! What should we do?
We wait, Glory. We wait and watch.
Just like all of us, huh? Wow.
And hope we somehow make it out of all of this alive.
And of course, like the rest of Youngblood's gonna show up, and the father gets the gem back and puts it back in his head, saying, I didn't understand it first, but then I found the gem. I've had this thing for as long as I can remember, and I've used it as an amplifier for my natural psionic abilities without ever knowing how or why. It all makes sense now, though. If a sacrifice is to be made, it is to be made by me. Shazam! Hey, Shazam. How about that?
Rain!
Dear Lord, boy, what have you done?
The right thing, David Proctor. The only thing he could have done, given the circumstances. My father is no more, Proctor, but shed no tears for him. He will know peace. What lies ahead concerns me alone.
And he disappears. He's gone. Oh, awesome. Sentinel shows up to kick some butt.
Proctor, you of all people should be able to tell me what's going on around here. The destruction I've seen is incredible. Youngblood headquarters is totally devastated.
That it is, Sentinel. But it would appear it's only the first brick in a feeble wall that threatens to collapse at any moment. All that we know is in grave danger, my friend.
I understand that, but why wasn't I contacted? Surely one of you could have alerted me to what was happening.
Listen, Langston, I hate to come off as rude, but do you honestly think you'd have made a difference? Look around you. We put up the best fight we could. And lost. But, what the flamin'... Look! Up in the sky! It's Supreme! Supreme. For over 60 years, his name has been synonymous with strength, with... Okay, so Supreme's coming back to help, right? And he just, like, flies his tiny body into Demon Lord Chapel's giant body.
What madness is this? You yet live? No matter. You were ravaged once by Crypt, a mere underling. What hope do you have of defeating his lord and master?
I suppose... that all depends on your point of reference, murderer. Your fiendish servant may indeed have laid low a man called Supreme, but I am not the same man.
Nor will you be ever again. Now if the graves are finished giving up the dead, Shkrakum! Rise and face me, usurper. The time for distractions has passed. You die by my hands. Now! You really are a fool, Lucifer. Or Graves, or Satan, or whatever name you go by in this incarnation. Do you actually believe that because you have struck me down once, I am forever beaten? I'll rise and face you for the fleeting few moments you remain on your feet? No.
I don't believe I need any introduction, Lord Chapel. You've seen me in your dreams, battled me hundreds of times in your sleep. You always knew I'd come, and now I'm here to put an end to your mad ways.
This is impossible. How can you protect him?
In a perfect life, I wouldn't have to. Unfortunately, I'm forced to play, quite literally, devil's advocate in this situation. Lucifer is evil. I'm well aware of that. But it is you who represents the far greater threat to our existence.
But in Limbo, I saw you at my side. We ruled the universe in tandem.
I don't doubt that you did, but others have had visions of the future as well. A future thankfully devoid of your presence. Lucifer, to my side!
Prakash, no! What great power do you possess if you must rely on so base an ally as the Lord of Lies? How many times must I cast him out before you realize he is weakness and impotence personified?
You've got it all wrong, Chapel. It is you who are weak of spirit, weak of mind. I forgive you your failings, though, for I have strength enough for us all. Still, though, I cannot do what is needed of me alone. I have need of all the power at your disposal, Dark Lord. Bathe me in hellfire and hold nothing back.
But that would
kill me? That doesn't matter now, Dark One. I will gladly lay down my life, if it means ridding the world of the greatest evil ever born, Shakatoon!
And so it ends. This thing that began with an insight denied me. This assault on my kingdom and my rule that spun so far out of control as to send me crawling for cover in another time. Another reality. Had I originally foreseen the threat posed by Chapel, all of this might have been prevented. Unfortunately, I am not as he who gave me life. I am not omnipotent. And that lack of vision has wrought much harm here. But ironically, my presence in this world may have actually amounted to some good. As an anomaly in this timeline, nothing has been normal since the moment I arrived here. I shaped this timeline to suit my needs. I affected everything in its past and the future to come. And yet even though the damage is great and nothing will ever be the way it once was, the Lord of Lies has bestowed upon this world a gift that will last forevermore.
And with that, the devil is gone and leaves a world forever altered in his wake. Epilogue number 1, Supreme. So this kind of just wraps it up like Lord of the Rings wraps up, right? Where it's just like, here's an epilogue about them. Here's an epilogue about Prophet. Here's an epilogue about Bloodstrike. Here's an epilogue about Brigade. Here's an epilogue about the New Men. Here's an epilogue about Youngblood. And Shaft, he's just gonna, he's gonna keep the team together, and they're gonna keep fighting, and they're gonna keep making a difference in the world. And his father says, yeah, well, truthfully, I wouldn't expect any less of you. I want you to promise me one thing though, Jeff. You name it, Dad. I want you to remember that no matter how far away I go, I'll always be thinking of you. I'll always come back. And even though fate may conspire at times to turn all around you black as night, so long as I live, there is a light that never goes out. I know, Dad. I know. Now, that is it. That is the end of Extreme Sacrifice. But there's one more book we have to cover, and we're going to do that tomorrow right here on Crypto Comics for Rob Liefeld Appreciation Month. And that is to discover the secrets of Chapel and his rise to power in the pits of hell. So stick around right here at Crypto Comics for that. If you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you're new here, subscribe, hit that ding dong for notifications, because I'm coming back tomorrow. I'm coming back every day this month, sometimes twice a day, because it's not only Rob Liefeld Appreciation Month here on Crypto Comics, but I also have a bunch of Halloween-themed books waiting just for you in the very near future on Crypto Comics. Now, if you beautiful people in Webtown want to show me a little bit of support, I would greatly appreciate it. Please go to megawattcomic.com and back Megawatt versus the Vampires of the Sun, the comic written by yours truly and drawn by my good friend Josh Spencer in Sydney, Australia. We guarantee to bring you an exciting, colorful Halloween adventure for not only you to enjoy, but for you to share with your kids if you have them. So go to megawattcomic.com and back our Kickstarter project. We want to hit our goal before Halloween. And as always, thanks for hanging out with your boy Crypto. I'll see you tomorrow, right here on Crypto Comics. Peace.